Hello everyone and welcome to Odds Market. Today I'm going to be covering the World Cup qualifiers that are taking place on Tuesday the 5th of September. Got some really exciting games lined up. Some of them there's a huge favourite and you have to look at handicap betting, but there are some games that are quite evenly matched and I think you can get some good prices. Starting with the Republic of Ireland versus Serbia. Ireland have drawn their last two games, which has given their qualification bid a real setback, and they're now 4 points behind group leaders Serbia, who haven't lost a game in all 8 qualifiers so far, as they're trying to reach the 2018 World Cup in Russia next summer. Doing very well. They crushed Moldova 3-0 in their last game, and they're really in the driving seat in this group. Ireland, meanwhile, were held 1-1 by Georgia away, and now they've got Wales breathing down their necks because Wales just won. So they really need a result here, but it's going to be very difficult for them. This is a very strong Serbia side. I think Serbia are going to get a result here. So Serbia draw no bet looks a very good option to me at 2.20 with Paddy Power. Next up, Iceland versus Ukraine. Iceland knocked England out of Euro 2016, which surprised all of Europe, really. They've continued that solid form into the World Cup qualifiers. They were on a 3-game winning streak ahead of the weekend, but then they lost to Finland, which was very disappointing, as Finland had only taken 1 point from 6 games before that. Really dreadful result and a horrible setback for Iceland. Ukraine, meanwhile, beat Turkey. So they've actually leapfrogged Iceland and Croatia to top the group now. Andriy Yarmolenko's been in superb form and they're going to be full of confidence going into this game, whereas I'd imagine that Iceland would be quite dejected from that defeat against Finland. They drew 1-1 in Ukraine when they met earlier in qualifying, but Ukraine now have the wind in their sails, and again I think they'll get a result here. So once more I'm going to look for draw no bet. Paddy Power again, you can get 2.25 on Ukraine. Both of those prices look extremely attractive to me. Next up, Turkey versus Croatia. As I just mentioned, Turkey lost that game against Ukraine and they were pretty disappointing, and they'll also be demoralised by the nature of that defeat. Croatia, meanwhile, they are still the odds-on favourites to win this group ahead of Ukraine, but their last game was abandoned due to a waterlogged pitch, so they didn't get to play Kosovo. They'll have to replay that one at a later date. But they're going to be rested, they're going to be fresh, they're heading to Turkey to face a team that's demoralised, and they've just got a really strong team. They've got Mario Mandzukic, Ivan Perisic, and the midfield of Luka Modric and Ivan Rakitic is just amazing. They could only draw with Turkey in their home game, but they're going to come into this game fresher and more confident. So I think that the 2.20 that you can get at Bet365 on a Croatia win here looks very good. Finally, Honduras versus USA, over to North America. USA are really struggling in their bid to qualify for the World Cup. Lost their first 2 games, then they sacked Jurgen Klinsmann. They parachuted in Bruce Arena, their most successful manager in history. He did spark an instant revival. They won their first game back, but it's sort of tailed off again. They're struggling. They lost to Costa Rica a couple of days ago, 2-0. That was very disappointing. They're third in the group, and Mexico and Costa Rica are well out in front. They have to finish third to qualify automatically, or fourth to go into a playoff against an Asian side. But now they are third, but they're just 1 point ahead of Panama and level on points with Honduras. So this is an absolutely massive game for them, particularly as they've struggled away from home. However, this is the perfect result for them to get their qualification bid back on track. They hammered Honduras 6-0 shortly after Bruce Arena returned, so I believe that will give them the psychological edge going into this game. On paper, USA has a far better team than Honduras, and that 6-0 win should give them confidence that they can go and get another result. I'm not saying it's going to be anything like 6-0, but given the history, I would really think that USA would win this one. So just the straight USA win, you can get odds of 2.29. Again, that looks very attractive. All these tips at greater than evens, but all looking good to me. So those are the ones that I've picked out. I've written an article going into a bit more detail on these games, so please head on over to Odds Market to check it out. If there's anything you feel you'd like us to cover in the please leave some comments letting us know. And thanks very much for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.